Hey everyone, welcome back to our Learn to Code series, and we're actually hopping back on into Learn to Code number 2, this time to tackle world building. Oh, it skipped through the intro. Hold on, let's go back there. There we go, much better. World building. It's our world apparently, so let's build it. So with code, we can transform the world around you. True. We can describe what to build and where to build it. Well, in a previous episode, we were placing people in a certain spot. So now we're going to be learning how to initialize different, worlds and terrain and apparently gems. So first, in this example, we would need to initialize an instance of a gem, just like how we were initializing the expert or a character. From there, we would then place it using the world place, as we've done in the previous episode. So before we were placing the experts, we're now going to be placing those different items. So in this case, a gem, and we can also put it at a certain column and a certain row as well. So in this case, we could place a gem at column 5, row 1, and would be added to the world. We can also create these blocks and place them in the exact same way. So we can create an instance of type block, call the place method, and we can describe where we want it to go. That's pretty cool. Go ahead and start coding. We're going to be starting off with the first one of uniting worlds. So up to now, puzzles have been defined for us, but now we're going to be creating our own kind of puzzles and worlds. So the switch in this puzzle is currently in an unreachable area. We're missing this kind of connector piece, which we can either put on the left here by the lily pad, or on the right, I assume. And remember, we learned last time, we can click in order to see the coordinates, right? So if we wanted to place it at 2, 2, or 3, 3, we totally could. Okay, so first we're going to create an instance of the block. So we're going to say let block. We're going to call this one block 1. As it does suggest here, we should probably number these so we can keep track of them a little bit nicer. And this is going to conform to the block, right? Those are those different world blocks that we can create. Then we're going to place them within our world, right? So we're going to use the world.place. And we want to choose the one here where we don't need a direction. The direction is more for when we're placing our characters. We're going to choose the one with item, column, and row. So we're going to be placing our item of block 1 specifically, right? That's what we want to be placing. And we're going to be placing it at 3, 3. Let me double check. At 3, 3. That's right. So now when we run our code, we should see that this block now gets populated. Perfect, perfect. Next, we need to create an algorithm in order to get Hopper to the toggle. So we can use our while loop here. So while is not on close switch. We're going to be moving forward. We also need to handle for the cases that were blocked because we're going to have to do some turns here. So if is blocked, let's go ahead and turn left. And in the cases that were still blocked, so we will need actually another if is blocked in here. Oh, getting ahead of myself. If is blocked. So if we turn left and we're still blocked, we're going to go ahead and turn our character right 2 times. And this should reorient where we need to go. After that, we'll be toggling our switch. This one should be pretty easy. We're really just learning how to create those different world tiles. So that's cool. It gives it a random texture every single time. So in this case, it's now sand. So we're going to move forward. We're going to turn left, and this is the case where we're still blocked, so the 2 right clicks, or right turns, sorry, will be blocked, and we'll turn left, and we should be good to go. Pretty simple algorithm, but we're mostly just learning how to add those blocks to our world. Toggling, and we are good to go. Cool. So we now know how to add blocks to the world, how to place them, how to access the coordinates, etc. Alrighty, connect and solve. Let's go ahead and see what's going on here. For this challenge, practice modifying the puzzle world. You'll need to add multiple blocks to reach the gems. You can create a stack by placing a block on top of another block. Oh, so we can create stacks for elevation here. I'm also just thinking about how we could just totally teleport to all these different places. We're not going to cheat. We're not going to do that. Okay, so getting these toggles is probably going to be the least of our worries. What I'm thinking is we definitely need to place some blocks in order to cross these gaps here. So at 2, 2, we should definitely be placing a block, and we're probably going to have to place a couple of them. It's saying that we need to stack them, and this is pretty high up here. So maybe we'll need to put 2 blocks at 2, 2. You can see with our camera, it's definitely going to need another one. Then here at 4, 2, we're going to need 1 block to kind of bridge this gap. Then at 6, 2, we're definitely going to need a couple more blocks. Okay, not too hard. So let's start by building all of our blocks. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're definitely going to need 5 blocks. Let's go ahead and establish our blocks. So we'll have block 1, which equals a block. And we're going to have block 2, which is also going to equal a block. So if you really want to save time, you might want to copy and paste these. And then let's update this to 3, 4, and then we'll want one more block. Block 5 equals block as well. Okay, and we should be good to go. It's going to allow us to access all 5 of these blocks. So let's go ahead and do our world dot place. We're going to reference all those different items. Now we can even use the autofill on the bottom if you'd like. Make sure you don't make any spelling mistakes. We're going to place block 1 at 2, 2. We'll then do the exact same thing for block 2. And that should, let's verify, that should stack those 2 blocks on top of each other. 1, 2. Perfect. And now we've closed that gap. Okay, let's also do that for 3, 4, and 5. So we needed 1 at 4, 2. Let's place block number 3. Block 3 at 4, 2. Now this one should only need the 1 block here. Verify. Do a little sanity check. Perfect. Then we're going to want to do the world.place again. Make sure you use that autofill completion so you can get the whole parameters ready to go. You don't miss anything. Block 4 is going at 6, 2. And so is block number 5. There we go. Let's verify that everything looks great. Once we do run our code, we can place our blocks. Perfect. Okay. It looks like we have to go 1, 2 spaces consistently, toggle the switch, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, turn around. Okay. Not too crazy on the algorithm here. So let's create a function and we'll call it clear row. From here, we'll have our character turn right. Again, this assumes we've already, toggled the switch. We're going to have this be for these rows here. We'll then want to move, and we're going to choose the one with the parameter of distance 4. Might as well do it so we don't have to loop through it, 4 times. We'll then be on the gem, so we'll collect the gem. We'll then turn left 2 times to essentially turn our character back around, facing the way that they came. We'll then want to move the distance 4 times again. And then we'll be turning right to continue on with our program. Let's go ahead and test it before we kind of loop through it. So we're going to move forward 2 times. We're then going to toggle the switch, and then we're going to call our clear row. Let's run through this, and if it works, we should be able to just actually put this in a for loop 3 times. We're going to turn right. Perfect. Okay, let's add our for loop 3 times. Let's delete the code placeholder, and let's move this block of code in the for loop. And we should be good to go. So our world gets populated. Toggle, collect the gems. We're moving through our algorithm, that repeated pattern. And because we built that world, we are good to go. That's awesome. So we've now started combining all of our coding skills, including augmenting the world around us in order to create and make new solutions to puzzles. All right, making your own portals. Oh my goodness, I'm excited to make my own portals. I don't know about you. We're starting off with a green portal, which has the color of green. Well, we're definitely going to want to place a portal. And we can see here we have some placeholder code. World place, new portal. And we can give it a start column and an end column. So we need to place the opening and the closing of the portal this time. Okay. So we already have our portal established for us, this green portal. Let's do our world.place and definitely use the autofill feature here to select it on the bottom. So what are we placing? Well, we're placing our portal, but we need to be specific, remember? It's going to be the green portal. And we need to have a start and an end. Oh man, where do we want to put this thing? Well, I'm thinking we put it in the middle here, and we can have our exit portal on the other middle, and we can use this to kind of navigate through collecting the two cross shapes, patterns of gems. So let's try putting the start at 1, 5. So 1, 5, and then we'll have it come out at 5, 1. They definitely should have made those like a little bit different. Get confused on the order of them. Anyways, or maybe that's not the right place for the portal. We'll figure it out here. Next, we need to establish a variable to track the amount of gems that we have. So this will be the gem counter, and we're going to start off at 0. We have 0 gems. We need to collect up to 8. And we're doing this so we can keep track of our number of gems, so we can use a while loop to kind of make sure that we're navigating through this puzzle. So we'll use our while, and we'll say that while our gem counter is less than 8, what do we want to have happen? Well, we're going to be doing a lot of move forwarding. Let's just go ahead and quickly run our code, populate the portal, and make sure we can go through it and see what happens. We go through, we move forward, then our while loop's going to continue, and we don't want to walk off. Okay. So let's try something really basic. Let's have another move forward and then a collect gem, right? If we think about this, we're going to move forward through the portal. We're then going to step forward, and we're going to be where we are now on 6, 1. We want to collect the gem. Afterwards, we should take our gem counter and plus equals 1 to add 1 to it, and then we're going to turn left twice. Let's go ahead and see how this works. This might just have us bouncing back and forth, but we can kind of figure it out from here. So there's our other move forward. We're going to collect the gem. We're going to turn left twice. We're going to go back through the portal. Awesome. Okay, this has only solved it for a couple of gems, and now we're kind of stuck in an infinite loop. Okay, not quite there. So let's think this through a little bit. We need to be able to collect half the gems by kind of creating a pattern, and then once we have those half of the gems, we need to augment it so we can finish out the other half of the pattern. So we have most of the logic here. I think we just need to be looking at the gem counter itself in order to collect half and then move on to collecting the other half. We have a lot of good logic here, and I don't want to get rid of all of it. I think we need to change the order of operations a little bit. So we always know that we want to move forward. We can then use an if statement to change how our character behaves. So if the gem counter equals 4, we're going to need to change how our code works. We're going to put 2 left turns. In the case that it doesn't, we're going to use an else statement. Here, we're going to then turn left. So let's go ahead and add our move forward, select gem, and then update our gem counter. Because essentially what this if statement and if else statement's doing is saying, okay, depending on the amount of gems that you have, if it's 4, we're going to shift the way our character is. Otherwise, we're just going to be turning left once. This will allow us to navigate through the puzzle with ease. We're always going to need to turn left twice after collecting the gem because we need to turn back around to face the portal. Okay, let's go ahead and run our code and see if we got it right. I'm going to run this on the fastest. We collect our gem. Every time we go through, we're just turning once. Collecting our gem. After we collect a gem, we turn around. In the case of it's turning 4, we need to readjust. Otherwise, we'll be kind of stuck in that loop forever. We go through the portal. There we go. Our counter's 8, so we're no longer stuck in an infinite while loop. Pretty cool. So this one wasn't so much about placing the tiles, but about placing the portals and then thinking about an algorithm to kind of solve, collecting that different shape and pattern of gems, which is pretty cool. Let's check out the next page, which is the reach for the stairs, which is kind of a play on words for reach for the stars. That's cool. So in this one, can we just use the jump that we learned that one time? I'm thinking about it. No, apparently we need to be placing stairs, and we're using these as an opportunity to do so. So just like how we've been placing blocks, we're going to now need to learn how to place stairs. And with this one, we're definitely going to be wanting to use the facing modifier. We're going to need to place the direction that our stairs are facing. Okay, so north, east, south, or west. and we still need the coordinate. Wow, okay, so we can really make this a lot easier on ourselves if we place a whole bunch of stairs. So it says let new stair equals stair here. We can go ahead and create our whole list of stairs that we're going to be needing. I assume we're going to need a whole lot. So for the beginning, we definitely want to stair at 3-1 and 3-3. After that, we're going to want a whole bunch of stairs kind of around our platform here. Oh, I clicked on Hopper, so he's flying away. All right, you're in blue, I suppose. I went to click on the tile, and when you click on your character, you can change them. Okay, so we want 3-1 and definitely 3-3. So let's first start off by creating our very first stair here. So let stair 1 equals stair. Great. Now let's quickly place this. So world.place. We're going to want to choose the one with the facing direction. So let's go ahead and reference stair 1. Facing direction. I don't know. Let's go ahead and try out north. And we want it at 3-1. Go ahead and run our code. And there's stair 1. Unfortunately, it is facing the opposite direction, but now we know it's supposed to be facing south. Perfect. Now, something I noticed while we were placing the stairs is, I mean, we can be specific and you know, really fancy with our code, but I think we could just place down a stair. Like, hold on, let's go ahead and try to place a stair at 3-3. If I do world place, and I choose the one with the facing direction, instead of any item here, can I just do a stair like this? South. And then I believe this was 3-3. Yeah, let's try 3-3. Oh, interesting. So apparently we can just, you know, as it says down here with the shortcut, we can just place these stairs with an unnamed instance of stair. That's pretty cool. Okay, so you can do it either way, as the kind of tutorial suggests. I think to save time, I'm going to be having these unnamed stairs. So we now have a way for our character to get all the way up to this kind of top platform. We'll then want to place some stairs to allow them to get down to toggle these different switches. So let's go ahead and place one on 1-4 so we can get down to the left side here. So we'll do our world.place. And from here, we want the item facing direction. So we'll create that unnamed stair. From here, okay, for facing south, and we want our stairs to go and face this. That should be west, if my calculations are correct. We can always verify. I believe that is going to be facing west. There we go. Okay, so now we have a way to get down to that toggle. Now we could totally add one at 1-5 as well, but I think we're going to kind of do a perimeter approach, and let's just add one at 1-6. So again, if you really want to save time, especially now that we're not kind of categorizing our stairs, you could probably copy and paste this and then just adjust the numbers. Perfect. Okay, so we now have tons of stairs that we've added. Let's also add a set of stairs at 5-6. And this time, let's do east, which should be the opposite direction. There we go. We can add one at 5-4 if we want as well. Although for this one, I think we're going to probably go back on the corner, but, you know, we can populate it with stairs. And then let's do 2-7 and 4-7. And these should be facing north. So north, 2-7. Again, this is also why naming the stairs could be really beneficial, because especially if you're copying and pasting as I'm doing, you might want to be like, oh, this is like north side stair 1, north side stair 2, etc., etc. So let's see all the stairs that we've added to our program. Okay, tons of stairs. Now let's figure out how we can create an algorithm. Oh, wait, this one's facing the wrong direction. Haha. North. Careful with copy and pasting. Let's now create that algorithm to solve the sides of the toggles. So we'll call it solve toggles. Oh, we need the function keyword first. So solve toggles. What do we need to have happen here? Okay, so let's assume that when we're calling upon this function here, we're already on one of these switches. Let's go ahead and toggle the switch. From there, we can say while is not blocked, or we can just repeat this a few times. We'll want to move forward and toggle the switch. You can, of course, just loop through this a few times. Wouldn't be that much different. Then we want to create a function to be turning these different corners. Let's create another function and let's call it turn corner. The code here, we're going to be turning right. Ooh, not turn left, turn right. There we go. Then we'll want to move with the distance of 2. Then we'll turn left. Then we'll move with a distance of 2 again. And then we want to turn right. Okay, so let's go ahead and plan this out. When we first start this program, we need to move 1, 2, 3, 4 times to align with these first stairs. So let's have our character move forward 4 times. We're then going to start by turning left, and then we're going to move 3 more times to get to this first toggle. We'll add another move distance of 3. We'll then be on that toggle, and if we started to go to our solve side, we would probably fall off the map, or at least try to fall off the map. Let's do a quick turn right. Then we'll create a for loop, and we're going to loop through this one twice. From here, we're going to be calling upon our solve toggles, and then our turn corner, sorry. And then at the very end, we should be able to just toggle our switches as well. Okay, let's run through this code now that we've placed the stairs, we've created our algorithm. Let's go ahead and give it a try. So here we're going to be doing our toggling, then we're doing a turn corner here. Turn right, perfect. Same thing. And now we're just doing our toggle switch. Oh, not quite enough. Oh, because I did toggle switch instead of solve toggles. Haha, that's why. So close, so close. That's why you should name things and call upon them appropriately. I think even as I was going through that, I was like, this one, and then I typed out the thing that was actually correct. Name your functions appropriately. This is why. So I guess we didn't need this last set of stairs, and you know, it's a good thing, because I placed it in the wrong direction. Yeah, see, it didn't matter. Although now Blue's a little bit stuck, and we couldn't make this a circuit. So even though we made a mistake, it wasn't an impactful one. There we go. That's pretty funny. I didn't even notice that. Okay, floating islands is what's up next. For this challenge, we're going to be practicing our world building skills and adding all the elements needed to solve the puzzles. There's definitely a ton of different solutions, so we can decide whether we prefer a portal, add blocks to bridge gaps. Can I just do the thing where I just place my character around and grab all the gems? And we don't start off with our character, so we need to initialize them and put them on a starting point. Something that I'm noticing, with different elevations, we kind of have this V shape here where we always have a toggle, gem, toggle. See? Toggle, gem, toggle. Toggle, gem, toggle. I think we could probably create a function that allows us to complete this kind of solution, but we might need to be moving and teleporting our character around. You know what I mean? Okay, well, instead of saying that, let's go ahead and try it out in coding. So let's go ahead and establish our character, which is going to equal that character, the empty brackets. We then need to place that character. So let's do the world.place. Oh, I don't want the portal one. I want the one where they're facing a direction. So we're going to place our character facing direction. Oh, I don't know. I know where I want them to start. I'm going to start them on 1-7 on this left toggle here. For the direction, let's try north, and then we can figure it out from there. So 1-7. Okay, so they are there. I'm going to have them face the gem here, because I feel like we could just teleport our character around. Okay, let's confirm that south is the right direction. Yeah, so let's go ahead and have our character toggle the switch. Oh, we need to do our character dot. That's right. Toggle switch. Then can we still jump? Yeah, let's jump down. Have our character collect the gem. Then they would need to turn themselves. That should be a turn left. Do a character jump. And then a character toggle switch. Yeah, that should work, right? Can we not just do this for every single one? I feel like if you just build a world, it'd take forever. And again, it says multiple solutions. Okay, I guess that works. Okay, so then let's go to the next island. So we'd want to go and move our character to 6-3. And I'm just going to copy and paste our code to save some time. And let's have them go to 6. And if this is facing south, we'd want them to be facing north. Again, let's go ahead and give it a try. We can always turn this into a function if we wanted, because it seems to be the exact same pattern. Yeah, okay. So real quick, let's create a function and let's call it clear island. And we'll encapsulate this entire code block that we wrote into this function. So we'll start off with a clear island. Teleport our character, do a clear island, then teleport our character again, right? And then we want to go to 1-1 facing, let's see, east, right? 1-1, clear island. This should work out. Again, it kind of feels a bit cheesy teleporting our character around, but it did say we can use any tool that we wanted. There we go. So you can either create a whole new island to solve this, or you can just teleport, because why not? Alrighty, we're moving on to build a loop. So we have a random number of gems, which is generated each time that we run the code. So if we run our code before even placing our character, you can see a random amount of gems that are kind of spawned throughout the map. And even though there's only 4 present, there will be a total of 6. Now we need to clearly initialize a character as well, because we never got one. We also need to make sure that we're tracking and repeating this loop against the total number of random gems, which is already created for us. Oof, okay, so we need to do some world building. We can't just teleport this time and collect the gems because we don't know where they're going to be. And we also need to add some blocks here, because currently this blue portal on the left here at 0-3 is inaccessible. I think we'll teleport and then what? So what I think we need to do is we need to first start off by placing our blocks. Now I'm getting inspired by creating a mirror image of the kind of world here. So between 7-3 and 7-0, we can see that we have the portal in a long stretch, and we can actually use this to ping our character back. So let's say we got here and we walk back, we go through the portal, go through the green, right? We'll then want to go to the blue and then create the infinite loop to go backwards. So I believe we need to place a world piece at 0-2 and a world piece at 3-3 to create the mirror image of our kind of completed blocks over here. And this should allow us to create an infinite loop actually quite very easily, as long as we can handle the logic to turn our characters back around and turn them when they go through the portals. So let's go ahead and use our world placing tools. Let's first start off by creating our gem counter. And we're going to have this equals 0 to start. And we're going to be using this to make sure that we stop our program when we reach the total gems. Let's then place some items here. So we can just do the basic ones because we're just creating some blocks. And so we're going to do 0-2. As well as another world.place, another block, and we don't need to name them. We want it to go to 3, 3, pretty easy. So let's verify those are in the correct spots. Perfect. We'll then establish our character, going to equal our character. I think you could probably do expert if you wanted. I won't see why not. And let's go ahead and place them. We're going to choose the one at the location as well as facing. So it's going to be character facing, let's try north. We can always adjust it after. And where do we want to start? I'm going to say we start on 2, 3, and we're going to go through this blue portal, get to the green, the yellow, and then turn around. So let's try 2, 3, and I feel like north is certainly not the correct direction here. Probably east? Yeah. So that's why we can run our program and try. So then we'll create a while loop, and we can have this be based off of our gem counter, which needs to be less than the total amount of gems in order to run our while loop. And we can say if character is on gem, well, we always want to make sure that we're collecting the gem first and foremost. Character dot collect gem. And then we'll want to have our gem counter plus equals 1 to increment it by 1. Okay, cool. So we've handled the gem, and now we need to handle... Next, we need to handle the case of if our character is blocked. So if character is blocked, we will have them turn right. Okay, and what if our character is still blocked? Well, then we'll have them turn right again. So our character dot turn right. And if they're still blocked, they're going through it, that is blocked, they can turn right again. Oops, turn right. We're like, they're expecting like the worst case scenario. Otherwise, if they're not blocked, they're going to be moving forward. Okay, let's go ahead and run through our code, and this should allow us to handle any situation we're given. So we're blocked, we're going to turn right. We're blocked, we're going to turn right again. We know we can collect those gems. We're blocked, we're going to turn right. And here's where we're going to be super blocked, turn right, turn right. There we go. Blocked, turn right, turn right, turn right. That's why we wanted the 3 in our algorithm. This is also why we wanted the 3 in our algorithm again. And there we go. We actually didn't have too many gems, but this would, in theory, allow us to, even if we needed to collect 300 gems, this would allow us to collect it for as long as we needed. We placed the blocks, we created the algorithm. The algorithm one's coming in so often, and now we are creating a puzzle of our own. So we can, just like when we have blocks, we can use the place method to put down gems in switches, so we can actually make our own puzzle. That's pretty cool. So I'm just going to go through this pretty quickly because I feel like for this one, for the video, the challenge is more about creativity and making your own thing. So let's just go ahead and make sure that we know how to place the gems. So let's create a gem, make sure you have the brackets. Let's add a gem at 3, 2. And we'll add the switch at 3, 3. And we'll establish our character. And then we'll place them. Make sure we have the facing one. That would be our character. Facing, I don't know, east. Let's put them at 2, 2. So you can populate the world and make your own challenges. Again, to complete this one, you can just do anything pretty much and be like, hey, great job. So if you want to take some time on this one and create your own challenge, place blocks, remove blocks. Oh yeah, that's right, you can remove blocks. So if we did the world.remove items at, and let's remove that gem, you can actually remove different objects. So no matter what the object is, pretty much, if we populate the gems, then we remove the gem. So you can really use this opportunity to create your own cool puzzles. Use the add, remove, placing, all those different blocks and tools, add as many characters as you'd like in order to have a lot of fun. So that was world building, which really, really played off of the parameters. And I think like algorithms has just been a huge part of these as well, where we're able to explore placing different objects to change the puzzle world and solve the puzzles as we see fit. We only have one more topic to cover in Learn to Code number 2, and that is arrays. And this is how we're going to be storing multiple pieces of information in a certain order using arrays. Arrays are kind of like lists, where we can list off different things. So Excited to explore that one in the next episode, which will be the closing chapter for Learn to Code number 2. It's been a fun ride. So dream big, code bigger. Have a great day. If you want a little bonus, stick around for a few more moments. Now this is my definition of insanity. Good luck beating this puzzle. Yeah, I don't know how you would beat this. But just have fun.